I think we can just start. Hello, comrades. Check, check, 1, 2. Check, check, 1, 2. Hello, comrades, and welcome to another episode of Under Construction. I'm your host, Ellis, otherwise known as the Admiral. This week, it might be a short one for a couple of reasons. One, work has just absolutely been kicking my butt, so I'm tired. And I know I'm usually tired, but work has been kicking my butt. Wedding planning has been kicking my butt. You know, like, when you go through a rough time and then you just want like a little treat, right? The volume of little treats I've been giving myself is rapidly increasing, uh, just to sort of stay afloat. Let me just get that settled. Get ready to post that. Hello, Steel Beasts of History. Now, actually, before we get started with Not Tetris, I just want to hide it for a second so we can look at this. Because, look at that. Look at that. This city we've been building, it's huge now. They grow up so slowly and with so much effort, but it's getting there. Lafayette, what are you doing? It really is getting there. I'm actually genuinely excited about this. And of course, I'm just going to open this now. We have our Yacht Club of the Week. This is the Grapefruit Soda, one of my sleeper picks. It's quite good. I like it a lot. I mean, like I said, I have fond memories of grapefruit. And I'm really, really thirsty, so I might go through this kind of quick. You know what's funny is we have a mini fridge that's basically just for those. The only thing it has in it is glass bottles. And now, because I didn't have anywhere else to put them, it's half that and half Mike's Hard Lemonade. I just didn't have anywhere else to put them. So, this is the mixed alcoholic and non-alcoholic drinks. How are you doing, Steel Bees of History? Welcome to the stream. Thank you for christening the chat. I assume you're going to get your #1 crown pretty soon as you start typing something else. Yeah, there it is. Tired. Tired is right. Tired is absolutely right. Yeah. Well, let's see if anybody shows up to take it away from you. Last week we had a pretty sedate stream. Not too many people around. I did not feel bad, closing it out a couple minutes early because there wasn't a ton of conversation going on. I get it. It's the end of the summer. Everyone's gearing up for school again. Those of you that are in school. If not, people might have kids in school. That's how long this has been going on. Not quite, but it feels like it. And it's getting close. Wait until the route is old enough to vote. We'll get there someday. We're 7 years into this project? We are not quite halfway there, but we're almost halfway to the route is old enough to drive. So, there's that. The route is a few years away from being old enough to be a junior member at the Providence Northern Model Railroad Club. Speaking of which, hello, Trainz Street. How are you doing? I assume you're back to school, or at least you will be soon. I know that Gloria's little sister is already back. She's in middle school now, and that is a big deal. I remember transitioning to middle school, getting a locker, and absolutely failing to use a combination lock. I can use one, and I'd probably be better at it these days than I was in those days, but I gave up so fast. I went home, I got a padlock, and I brought that to school, and I used that for basically my entire schooling career, which was probably much to the chagrin of, at least middle school, was probably much to the chagrin of, the people running the school, because, half the point of having the combination lock and using the lock that they give you is, if the school needs to get into your locker for whatever reason, they can. And I know that sounds like an invasion of privacy, and it definitely is. But, if you have a laptop or something in there and it catches on fire, you probably want them to be able to get in there and put it out. If you're not around. Tolbert Peninsula. Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's true. We will have a time where the route is old enough to get drafted, and then it'll go off to war and never come back. In fact, if it just disappears, if the route suddenly dies, I'm going to say that's what happened to it. Don't quote me on that because I will forget. Hello, Mopac. Are you off the roof? Anyway, let's put this here. Let's put this over here. Oh, shoot. Okay. This is not going well. We are not packing these dense enough. We're not packing these densely enough. Uh-oh, that was really bad. Okay, yeah, this is it. It's okay. It's going to be a short episode anyway. Now that route merges with the PN in 2106. Alright, let me send this in the other doodad. I'm going to take a sip of my drink. Grapefruit soda. Sleeper pick. Okay, so part of me, am I stopping by on Saturday? Probably not. Although I might be down in the neighborhood. So I might. Gloria has a dress appointment, for fitting their wedding dress, and maybe that means I'll be down that way. Next time you'll probably see me is at the meeting if you end up going to that. But okay. So right now my thought is, Mopac, I wish you lived near me because I would hire you. I need to figure out what I'm doing with this area, and I haven't really put much thought into it. Because I think a lot of it is going to still be fields, especially on this side of the road. What train show are you going to, Train Street? Yeah, I think there are going to be fields on this side of the road, but I don't know what to put over here. And part of me wants to do just like, oh, neighborhood, right? Probably not slums, right, but the wrong side of the tracks. You know, like that's what we're dealing with here. That's what we have here. We have the wrong side of the tracks. And the thing is, because of the way this would have been built out, I don't know if the street grid here would be pre or post tracks, right? So I think we maybe could have a street that's parallel to this, or we could have a street that's parallel to the tracks. I mean, these two streets are parallel, right? So it would kind of make sense if we followed that grid and we did this. And it's just going to be some suburbs. It's probably going to be some kit houses and trailers and shotgun houses, that sort of thing. Of course, I could also put an industry over here, but because we have the power lines here, it would have to be like way over here, you know? So we will see about that. So let's go into Surveyor 2, or let's switch to the route layer. Let's go to Surveyor 2. I scarcely ever go to train shows, aside from the Big E. When I had a bunch of trading cards in stock, I was really on a run of going to shows with the Providence Northern, but because I just have had to put those things on the back burner, sadly, I have not really had a reason to go to the shows. You know, some of these shows it's relatively inexpensive to get a table at, and if you get a table at one of these more local shows, you get a lot more attention proportionally. You know, I sold trading cards at the little roadie show a couple of years ago and got a pretty decent amount of attention off of that, like a good amount of attention. Okay, let's go 200 feet. We might even be able to fit 2 rows here. I know the little roadie show was a nice little show. Okay, let's do that. Oh, shoot. I'm going to slide to the left, or to the right. To the left from a certain point of view, the Jedi are evil. I mean, we could maybe host it at the PN. Maybe. I don't know. But I don't think it'd be the most outrageous thing. We'd just have to rent the room from the Grange. Okay. So I'm trying to figure out what to do here. This is, if I can, again, this might be a short episode. Work's been kicking my butt. Wedding planning's been kicking my butt. I'm exhausted. Football's on later. I'm going through my soda very quickly. Get a table at the open house. Yeah, I mean, we'll see what we can do. I think that'd be cool. I don't know how realistic it is, but I'd like to have the trading cards by then. I want to have them by the holiday season. And I know that I haven't touched them in a while, but still, they're not gone. I just have not had time to look at them or think about them. Once I'm married, that's going to change. Okay, so let's do this. Be draining my wallet and cards again. Yeah, I mean, we've got... I mean, and if we do Mark's Madness again, I don't know if we will. I don't know how much of a hit those videos were. I know, you know, the heist content. If it does well, it does well, and if it doesn't do well, we don't do it again. But if Mark's Madness did well, then if we do that again, then I'll have a whole nother thing to do. I'll have a whole nother round of cards to do. The Steel Beast, I am perpetually surprised by the volume of Trainz shows that are in my area. Like, I don't even think about it. Like, I forget. Like, I don't know that there are so many. It just happens to be that the people at the club keep, like, pretty good track of them. No pun intended. And I'm glad you are here. Okay. Yeah, I've never had enough time to go to, like, every Trainz show. I wish. Oh. Now, give me... Thank you. I wish. Alright, so let's do this. Yeah, no, it's... When I do collab stuff with Mark, we get quite a few people that filter in, and I really appreciate that. Partially because... You know, it's always fun to have new people in and whatever. It was better, of course, when I was doing more local games, and then they really had a purpose. But it's also just a lot of fun doing stuff with Mark. I mean, he's a cool guy. I was looking forward to seeing him this fall, and I'm bummed that that I will not be able to. And of course, I would love to make it out to. Whatchamacallit, to see RGS 20 on the Cumbres and Toltec, or wherever are they going to the Cumbres and Toltec, or are they going to DNS? One of the two. Point is, I wish I could go to that. If I had the money, I would. Okay. I don't know why I thought Cumbres and Tumbres right away. DNS makes more sense. They're much closer with the DNS. Oh yeah, no, that's right. It is the DNS. The DNS isn't also constantly a dumpster fire. Okay. We're gonna have to put in some roads. You know what would be kind of funny? To just, like, paste the entirety of Pan Am into the corner of this town. Okay. Think about going, but school absence list says otherwise. Yeah, listen. Go to school. Don't make me put the dad hat on. Go to school. Is the CNTS a dumpster fire? I mean, it's not... like it's about to fall apart. It's not Wilmington and Western, right? Like, it's just, mm, it's just in a bad way and has been for a while. I mean, the the lawsuits and things are not great. Um, like the harassment suits and stuff, and it's it's a real ramshackle operation. It's really cool. Like, I cannot recommend it enough. Like, absolutely do not hesitate to go to the Cumbres and Toltec if you get the chance. Uh, but if if they were to collapse tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised. And don't read into it too much. I don't know as much as I know about the situation. I don't know as much as I could know about the situation. Sorry, I don't know as much as I know. Yeah. Um, but like, or the situations, and the fact that they just still keep on trucking is like, that says something. You know, it says something. But boy, that railroad. Okay. Yeah, I think it's time for us to work on this side, because if we can get this area like this is a giant triangle. This, like, up to here, from here north, or that's, what is that? From here east, that way. Um, don't do school and stay in drugs. Yeah, no, you don't want to be the people that drop out and do drugs and drop out. And listen, you've already got a place to spend your money, all right? You like Trainz. Uh, it's it's way better than drugs, because you don't consume them, you know? They might be addictive, but you don't consume them. Uh, go to school and not use your degree. Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, but at least you're gainfully employed. Some people manage to not use their degree and then still do nothing. Like, and that's not to disparage. I know it's tough to get a job even when you do have a degree. Um, it certainly can be. Uh, but like, one of the things that getting a degree is good for is showing that you are capable of learning, right? If you can make it through a college program, you can learn. Like, you know how to learn. And that is a skill that's very important, and I feel like that fact is kind of underrated. Now, that doesn't mean you should go to school, like go to higher education for no reason. It's a lot of money and a lot of time and a lot of stress. And if you're fine, getting, going into the trades, or anything under the sun, really, uh, there's nothing wrong with doing what you want to do. Just, what they say. If, do something you love and you'll never work a day in your life, because that field's not hiring. Always have a fallback plan. Nothing is beneath you. If if at the end of the day you can't get a job in the fields you enjoy, and you've got to settle for flipping burgers for a little while, just buck up and do it. It's not fun, but someone's got to. And if you need a way to get a roof over your head for a little while, there's no shame in it. Um, Applying for Amtrak, I mean, you got a plan. That's good. Go work with the other PN members. Okay, so that actually went together much more easily than I expected. Um, let's do this to sort of straighten that out. And that covers most of the divots. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, we good. Um, you poor thing. We'll go work with JB. You poor thing. Um, okay. Alright. Should I continue attaching these roads? I'm not sure. This, honestly, probably does not need sidewalks. I'm realizing that. There's no reason this would have sidewalks out here. So, let's add a spline point here. Straighten this. And then, let's go to about here. Insert spline point. Come on. Straighten spline. Like engineering and mechanicalness, but I'm not too fond of the numbers and explaining it. More of the hit. Here, hit metal with hammer, boom, you have combustion engine. Yeah, no, getting through engineering school is not a lot of fun. But if it is something that, if it gets you into a career that you're passionate about, sometimes that time can fly. There we go. Oh, shoot. Wait, no, I wanted there to be some pavement markings. Okay, hold on. Let's go back. Let's find you. Replace with selected asset. There we go. Okay. Rural roads. Rural. RRL. Rural. Okay. Don Nevin calls me quite a bit to chat about the goings-on of the layout these days, and I honestly, I've taken to enjoying it, you know? Sometimes I don't... Sometimes I have to go, right? And I can't be on the phone forever with the guy, but, he's an old guy. It's good for, he lives alone, doesn't have company, he likes to talk. He calls me up, he wants to chit-chat, I'll stay on the phone with him for a while. Don called Jamie Napoleon and started going on a rant. Alright, replace spline with selected asset. Oh, shoot. That is not the side of the road that I wanted the sidewalk to be on. Alright, well, we gotta do that. We gotta fix that. Alright, let's straighten spline. No, I said straighten the spline, please. But JB is gonna JB, and Don is gonna Don. It's, they're all characters. We're all characters, I'm sure they talk about us, too. Straighten spline. Okay. For the most part, I don't want this neighborhood to have, I don't want this neighborhood to have sidewalks. And also, I don't know if I even want the neighborhood to have paved roads. I might replace these with... I might replace these with gravel. And you know what? I'm realizing what I can probably do is get away with this like this. Yeah, screw walkability. Straighten spline. I mean, this is just, it's the wrong side of the tracks neighborhood. I don't want it to have much in the way of amenities. And in fact, what I might do is I might add a road here. And I might end up adding more later, further down. But also I might fill this area in much the same way. So that's that. And I mean, if you look at this from above, right? Like, if you look at it from the side, it's humongous. If you look at the city from the side, it's humongous. For a Trainz city, it's incredibly large. But, But if you look at it from above, you can see how small it is. You can see that it's really only a handful of blocks, and I mean, some all right, Godspeed Train Street, do your homework. Uh, and some towns really do feel like that. I mean, Providence is not that big. When you look at it from above, the downtown is not very large, but this is a very small downtown. Uh, Again, huge for train standards, but small for real life standards. And honestly, I think that's fine. I think that is perfectly fine. I think that uh, let me rotate this so that it's actually facing the other thing now. I think that uh, as long as we sort of present the illusion of a reasonably sized city, then we're doing pretty well. Because that's something that does not happen most of the time. You know, it's either like copy pasted blocks forever, or it is a couple of blocks and that's it. It's just what you can see from the train station. And the thing is, when we're coming in this way, when you're coming in on the train this way and you go by, you know, you come through here, you go by the yard and the engine facilities, you take this turn, and then you go under this overpass, which is really quite short. Um, and then you come in through here. I want it to, you know, sort of feel like you're coming into a major city. I'm going to switch over to here. You know what I'm realizing? Do I not have a switch over from... Oh, no, I do. It's right there. So if you can come over here, and you can come over into the yard track here, or this here, and then over into the yard track there, into the layover yard. Message brought to you by Unwalkable Middle American Towns. Yeah. Um, this is already doing better than most, and it does sort of feel like it, right? Like this does feel like, mostly because it's so flat, it doesn't really feel like the sort of Woonsocket I was aiming for. It's more, I don't know, it's closer to a small Midwestern city that also happens to be on a river. But I need to be more aggressive with terrain in the future. I need to not be afraid to try to build a hill, to build a town on a hill. Oh well. Um, yeah, I think we could put an industry here as well, right? Like on this side. I think that would be fine. I'm not sure what. Maybe some sort of distributor. Maybe like a feed and seed. Something related. Something that would benefit by being along like a major roadway, but is okay with being a little bit constrained. We also need to, like I mentioned before, we need to put a coal dealer somewhere. Maybe that would be good over here. Hello, Mossy Mug. I say Woonsocket and I summon Mossy Mug. Um, but yeah, coal dealer. Um, where's my ideas document? Because I need to take note of what I'm missing around here. I need to sort of focus up on that. Ideas document. Bellington, South Bellington, cement plant, feed mill, bread factory, cannery, meatpacking plant, munitions plant, little metalworks, coal dealer, and like a beer distributor. Maybe that's what I would want to put. Well, a beer distributor, I might need a little more room for. And also, I would need a way to get to it. Like, this area in here, this is going to be just, like, trees and garbage. There's nothing that I can put in here. Saying a name of New England Mill City with Franco-American roots 3 times summons me. Not a lot of people know this. Oh, man. I'm looking forward to the 21st. I'm looking forward to sneaking back up to Maine. I kept saying, like, oh, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. Which is what I say like every hour of every day about the WWF. But like I was really, really thinking about it and just trying to figure out, okay, well, when can I go? And that's actually my birthday weekend. And I was considering going to the football game on Sunday because it's Steelers at Patriots, and the Steelers are my dad's team, so sort of had a vested interest in doing that. Where's you? Goodbye. You don't have to take me out or anything. I mean, there is always Applebee's. uh, but I was thinking about that, and it's just like I really want to go to the Steelers game. You know what? Hold on. Let me look at ticket prices right now just to get a feel. Steelers at Patriots 2025 tickets. Let's go to Ticketmaster. Foxborough, Mass. Gillette Stadium, Sunday, 1 o'clock. How much are tickets? On Ticketmaster, of course, so it's going to be about $1 million. The cheapest tickets are $145. If I go for the end zone, which is where I usually like to go, let's see, there's 2 tickets right there. They're $328 a piece. No, I said there's always Applebee's. I'm never going to complain about Applebee's. Okay, so this is this, and I think I'll extend this. It's a tradition at this point. I told my mom the Applebee's story when she and I went up there, or the multiple Applebee's stories. I'm really not sure what to do with this area. I might just leave it kind of empty. But I might leave that connection like that. And then bring this down to here. Bring this over to here. Maybe we will leave these as macadam. Alright, let's do this. And then I want to take this, I want to rotate this, the reject shop, and I want to put this alongside this Barnes & Noble. Honestly, these do not have large enough parking lots. I need to scoot those back, because we need an ocean of parking if we're going to do that right. Okay. My cats are excited to hear that you're coming back up. Sorry, I missed that. I'm excited to see your cats. Speaking of cats, there's Venkman. Venkman, are you hungry? It's the only thing that gets him up. Hi, Venkman. He spent a whole bunch of the day outside on the lawn because he just kept trying to go out. So I said, all right, Gloria, please give me his collar with his tags on it that he never wears because he's an indoor cat and he's chipped anyway. And I put his collar on him. For the first time in years, I put his collar on him, and he went outside with Lafayette, and they hung out together outside for a little while, and it was very cute. Okay, do I want to have, like, a little farm in this area? I think so. I think maybe we can get away with that. Let's go into Surveyor Classic, and let's grab this from here. Excuse me. The soda's eating me up. The only thing I've had today are 2 slices of pizza. With good pizza. Pizza with jalapenos on it, and then of course, this is like, I finished my work at like 6:30, which is very late for me, and I'm not someone who enjoys overtime. I am a 9 to 5 kind of person that I'm out the door. And so I worked late today because, well, because I'm working on a project with a manager that I really like, and I don't want to disappoint her, and I want to make sure that we get this deadline in. And it's not just like a, hey, they wanted the plans back by then. It's like, oh, this project's already in construction, and like the sky is falling. Like we need to get these things done, because they're already out there and they're trying to build stuff, and they have outdated plans, and we need to get them new plans. Um, so you know, not contractor life, a consultant life, right? But oh shoot, did I already do this whole edge? Oh, I didn't. I didn't get that spot right there. That's good. That's where we'll make a hole in this brush to bring a farm field up to the water's edge. So anyhow, um, we've got all of that to work on, and it's a relatively simple project, but I keep finding holes in it, and I'm really good at that, and I hate it. But like, this project has been kind of ramshackle from day one, and my boss said it feels like we're doing the plans for the first time now, because we keep finding stuff that does not work, does not make sense. The comments we're getting back are ludicrous, and we're finally like, we had to come around. It basically meant like, hey, new concept, or at least that's what it feels like. It feels like we are making plans from scratch, and so doing that on a really accelerated schedule has meant like I am incentivized to like stick around and get more done, uh, because I don't want to blow past this deadline. But there's only so much one person can do, especially when I'm not all that familiar with this project. Who did the OG design? Okay, so it's a bit of a complicated issue. The plans that I was given were worked on by another member of the team in New York, um, and like that on its own is not a problem because they wouldn't have been that bad, except they were done based on a couple of assumptions, based on okay, we think this development is going to happen, and then this development is going to happen, and this one isn't going to happen by the time we go and do this work. And those assumptions that we made when we originally put this project together were all untrue. The one development that we didn't think was going to happen did happen, so we needed to get new survey for that intersection. And meanwhile, the other stuff did not happen, and so we needed to revert a bunch of our plans to like take out what we assumed would have been built before we got in there and built anything. It's a really like confusing and frustrating set of events. And also the simulation is done in a program that I'm not familiar with, really. So it's very much a I'm flying kind of blind, or at least we have been. Hello, Orion. Thank you. I have to work around speculative developments. Doesn't happen all the time, but it's just like we thought we were gonna be like in the line of changes that were gonna happen to this area, which is in suburban, not New York City, but like out there, sort of upstate, but not really. In the line of changes that we thought were going to happen, we thought the order was going to go development A, us, development B. But in fact, it's going development B, us, then development A. So, you know, yeah. I haven't ever had something like this happen. It's a very unusual situation, usually, this kind of thing. Like, it's not typical. The front doesn't usually fall off. Walther sent you a free trading card? Oh, man. They're beating me out. Okay. Burn it. Just kidding. Okay, let's do this. No, you don't. I don't have I don't have much in stock. I've got like 20 packs of batch 4, and that's it. I really need to get down and do the other stuff, but it's just been so tough to do all this wedding planning and stuff. I thought that the summer was going to be relatively easy, but instead I'm running around like a chicken with my head cut off, and I didn't even get to go to the beach. I didn't go to the beach once this summer, which is insane because my family has a beach house. Like it's there. I can just go. And I haven't had a single day where I'm just like, yeah, let's go, you know? I have not seen the NW ones. And we're going to paint trees in this area. We're going to do scrapbook data. Woods. Ground height relative, texture overwrite, meshes overwrite, splines, none, effect layers, none. Let's make this circle a little bigger. And then just fill in this area. Fill in this area. Oh, there was another Trainz update before I did this. I don't know what changed, if anything. It's a hotfix, so hopefully it's, you know, bug fixing. Alright, so that's filled in. Let's go back to Fair Classic. Yeah, so I made this section of woods a long time ago, basically. I made this section of woods back when we started doing the route over by Olive. And I have tweaked a little bit. I've added some trees and removed some trees. Not different kinds, but just like changed the density as time has gone on. And eventually I made I copied it into the scrapbook. And you can just use it as like a stamp. As like a clone stamp and just put stuff down, which is very helpful for irregularly shaped areas, which woods tend to be. If you find many regularly shaped woods, let me know. But I think most of the time those are called tree farms. That was the thing I took to most immediately because it is so much of a time saver when it comes to doing this. I used to do woods with copy pasting, and it was rectangular sections, and it was a real pain to do anything that was an unusual shape. Can I have something other than Canf green? Thank you. Because I would do the center with the big chunks, and then it would have these jagged edges that I would have to either fill in manually or just copy paste like a 2x2 area. Okay, let's do that. Is today fixing what the bugs broke? The bugs haven't appeared to have broken anything. I'm not certain about that, but I haven't found anything that screams, "Ah, that's super broken because of the new update," right? I haven't yet. I may at some point in the future. I'm not going to rule anything out, but nothing's happened yet. Maybe I just got lucky. I mean, I made a backup before I updated this version, so hopefully, if something were to go wrong, I could just fall back on that. But I don't. Everything seems fine to me. Okay. The problem with these is that the trees are all the same height. At some point I'll probably have to update the speed trees to like new kinds of speed trees. So, I don't know. Maybe we will end up changing that, but okay, look, there we go. That's done. I'm not sure what I want to put it here. I want to put some kind of farm. I don't know what, but something. I don't think it's going to be like a big crop farm. It might be like a sheep farm. Something small. Let's see. What have I got for farmhouses? I've got something little. I've got this little farmhouse here. I want to just kind of put stuff off the road here. Let's put you here. And yeah, move this guy way back off the road. And I mean, they would probably have some lawn back there, but maybe not. Okay, shed. We've got a shed. We've got a barn. We've got a farm woman who looks like she's holding an AK. Farm buildings under construction. Hey, that's the name of the show. Maybe a little dairy farm. Maybe what if I'll put this down here, because this feels like it could be like a dairy farm building. We haven't had a creamery since way back that way. People are worrying about your hair. You've got bigger problems. Okay. Fast food shop. Favorite mine. Is it because it's the person who made its favorite, or was that what it was called? What the heck was that? Why 2 X's? I thought it was 3 X's at first, and I was thinking like, okay. Grand Theft Auto style, you know, parody of whatever. Yeah, okay, we can have this. I mentioned having a feed and seed here. I think, yeah, we can do this. This seems a little low for freight cars, so maybe it should go on this side. Maybe the track should go on that side. Excuse me. Just one of those things. More intrigue. Cars everywhere. Or, you know, industries everywhere. And we can do that. So, little feed and seed. That's nice. It's 8:10. It's about 10 minutes until kickoff. See how I feel in 10 minutes. Florida flag. Flag single. What is this? Oh, it's a Canadian flag. You'd think it would say that. Oh, okay. Volunteer fire department. I mean, we can't use that anyway, but... See, the siding to my south in the CSX Toledo division used to extend for another 4 blocks. Did you see that on, like, historic aerials kind of thing? Okay. I've seen some sidings like that where they cut them short. Oh, this is cool. This is a cool engine shed. It feels British, but it could just as well not be. I mean, can I fit? Yeah, I can fit an American locomotive in here. Okay. Hey, pup. This might be worth using at some point, this engine shed. Also got some generic factory buildings, which we could use somewhere. You know, I'm thinking of peeling off a siding to a warehouse or something over here. Maybe even a scrapyard. I don't think we have a scrapyard here yet. Every town needs a good scrapyard. They're fun to detail. And that's definitely what would go over here. Although it would probably need more room. If we're going to put that there, then what we could do is... we could... let's do this in Surveyor 2. if we're going to put this substation over here... I mean, honestly, we could put the substation on the other side in here, because, like I said, there's no way to get in here. So it's free real estate. You know, you'd have to come in via service road, but if you're servicing the substation, that doesn't strike me as being a big deal. Yeah, I did say substation. I threw this one down thinking that maybe it would be cool to have one here. And then I sort of started postulating that maybe this wrong side of the track style neighborhood would be in this vicinity. So it's not in a great spot anymore. I could move it over here, which is, as I mentioned earlier, this is pretty much no man's land, you know? What we're gonna need is a gravel road, and let's grab a gravel road, that runs along the yard lead, or the drill track. Runs along the drill track. Yeah, great dirt pit. I was gonna leave it as mostly grass, not trees. But either or, you know? If I just extend this straight this way... Well, what I probably want to do is actually just sort of chicane it over here. Insert spline point. Insert spline point. Straighten this, and then straighten this. And just scoot that like that. And then have it come in here. And then just sort of hook in like that. Hello, Fayette. And we'll have to... Oh, it's hovering. Hold on. Surveyor Classic. I want to put this on the ground. It's still not on the ground enough. Okay. Oh, for God's sake. Bye, Lafayette. Okay. So, let's just scoot this down just a little bit. Not much, just a little. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's fine. And then, yeah, we'll put that here, which means we've got to get the power lines up and over this. But that's fine. I'll probably want to raise this just a little bit. I don't know what the minimum clearance is. I feel like I should know this because I've had to deal with this on signal plans before, but we'll just do that. And we'll put the substation there, and we'll put a scrapyard here. Let's see. I just need a big crane to, like, show me that that's what this is going to be. Oh, hello, CNR Roundhouse, my beloved. The Iron Horseman Chronicles. Okay, we're gonna use the search filter for crane. You, yes, you. And we already have one of these, like, right over here, but that's okay. Let's use a different one, then. Tower crane, tower crane, tower crane, sign warning, yard crane, scrapyard crane. As a big crane. That's fine, though. We will find a use for it. And then I want to grab the track, and we will have one track inside here, and I actually think that's going to be it, because we don't need two. One track inside here, and then straighten it, and then curve, straight, curve, because it's a railroad. Or sorry, straight, curve, straight. That way. And then that way. Wait a minute. Let's... Air manager. There we go. That ought to do it, kind of. If I scoot it a little bit closer in there like that, and then this, and then I could still maybe have a warehouse. But what I'm probably going to do is put up fence back here and then line this with, like, shotgun houses. Or maybe I will actually scoot this back, just to give it a little bit more room. Delete that. And then to, like, there, maybe. Don't want to connect them by mistake. Shorten this all the way to... Let's just do it to there. Yeah, there we go. Street grid. We're almost out of soda. Almost out of soda. You know what, though? You know what this is... You know what's wrong about this is that there isn't enough space to drill into this. And part of me wants to just add a little stub here, so that you can do that. The other part of me just says, no, scoot this way and give yourself more room. I think this makes more sense, though. No, you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that I have enough space. I have like 3 or 4 carloads of space, or car lengths of space to shunt this out. Make this a little bit steeper, make the switch a little bit tighter. And then I can do that without adding any more trackage, without it being a problem. Straighten spline. There we go. How about that? I am sticking over the top of the screen for once. Yeah. Okay. And now it's almost parallel to this road. So it maybe that was there before, you know? Although no, that would have been accessed from there, so probably not. This since this would have been the end of the branch line at one point, the one that starts over here and is currently cut in half, it doesn't make sense that there would have been anything over the river down here. Maybe there would have been on like a little jinky wooden trestle, but What are those? Oh, those are splines for me to straighten that out. Okay. Well, this has already been quite productive. I don't know what to start on for the rest of it. I don't know if I will, honestly. Everything's been kicking my butt. I'm just glad that we had a stream at the normal time, that we've done this. Although we do have a decent complement of people, so maybe I should keep it going for at least a little bit longer. I just don't know what to begin. Well, though, you know what? You know what, everyone? Do me a favor. Tune in next week, 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. There'll be more Tolbrand. It's the 11th. I'll keep it going for just a moment longer. What we're going to do is we're going to fill in this with trees. We're going to fill in this with trees. We're going to do scrapbook data. Scroll back on down to the scrapbook. Splines, none. Effect layers, none. Everything else can stay. Just right around this. And I think, you know, if I decide to keep doing, like, you know when you're trying to get off the phone with somebody but you keep thinking of things to say to them? That's how I build this railroad. It's, oh, you know what, we could just do a little bit more of this. We can just do a little bit more of this. Part of me is saying, well, you can't leave now. You haven't gone over to staging and worked on any of the car spawners. You got to go make at least 1 or 2 of those before you wrap up. A Midwest goodbye. Yeah, I have heard that before. It's, I just I don't want it to end. I want to keep hanging around. I just don't know if I have the brain power for it. Let's clear out some of these trees along the road here. There we go. Let's do that, and that, and that, and that. There, we trimmed that up. And yeah, if we're gonna make this a little dairy farm. See? I'm ready to go in now. I just needed a moment to prime myself. If we're gonna make this a dairy farm, something that we could... Somebody outside? Something that we could do is... I don't know what's going on outside. Is lower the land here just a little bit so that it's closer to water level. Sorry about him. We're done when I say we're done. Lafayette, it's okay, pup. It's okay, pup. No, it's okay. Alright. I want to lower this because I want to have, like, a marshy area where the cows can graze near the water, and maybe when the river runs a little higher, then they could dip their little tootsies in. Let's see what we've got for fences. Lafayette. Oops. Let's look here. From here, and then to here. I just want to follow the river's edge. basically as closely as I can for this stretch here. And the cows get to bathe in the factory waste sludge water. Yeah, exactly. Um, they they make strawberry milk. We don't know why. It's just that's what comes out. Uh, I'm intentionally not going back to the previous dairy pastures I did because I want this one to stand out. I want it to be a little different. Just New England things. I faked everybody out. I said I was going to end it, and a couple of people left, I think. Didn't come back. They're going to, if they see the VOD later, they're like, wait, why is it an hour and a half long? Alright. So, that, and then we'll come up to about here. And we'll give it some room between the road and the field. Let's bring this up to about here. There we go. And I can texture this. I mean, the thing that I could do at least is grab the same grass texture I used for those fields, to keep it consistent. But I think it was just my regular Erba 3, so maybe it doesn't matter. That's what I've used for grazing land for most of the map. Oh no, this is Oz grass. We're off to see the wizard. The wizard has made the cows have 2 heads. Isn't that incredible? The wizard owns the paper mill upstream. Okay. Imagine like the in-universe equivalent of Uncle Sam is some kind of wizard. You know? Like that's just what he is. I don't know what Uncle Sam in real life was a meat packer. But what if he was mythologized as a wizard instead? Alright, good night, Steel Beasts. Thanks for sticking past the fake end. I didn't do it on purpose. We gotta see who the real fans are. That's what I'm gonna do. Every week I'm gonna see who the real fans are by faking everybody out. Alright, let's do that. Let's do that. Get him up against the wall. Let's do this. And let's do that. I cast unlimited budget. That's all American mythology. Yeah. Paul Bunyan. What was the dude? Who's the dude who fought the steam shovel? John Henry. He's an earthbender. I cast oil. What's the saying, like, God has special care for dogs, children in the United States of America. I cast boats touched. There's a joke in here about the U.S. casting the sun. Alright, let's do that. Okay. John Henry, by the way, was a cool as hell looking turbine. That's for sure. It might be the best looking one, and that statement might include the S2. The S2 looks really goofy. The S2 is a Lionel model come to life. right? Like, it looks so silly. But, and also it, like, mechanically was incredibly silly. Uh, but the John Henry looks like it sort of drove, like, directly off the grid from Tron into the real world. Uh, it looks so cool. I kind of want to own one. If I... Hmm. Yeah, I might look for one actually. Now that I say that, I realize I don't really have a freight engine in my collection. I've got a Mogul, I've got a 10-wheeler asterisk. I've got a a T1, the good kind. I have a Pacific, and that's really it for me for locomotives. I mean, I have a Mikado that's in storage indefinitely, basically, um, until I can get someone to turn it into Blount. But until then, I don't know when that'll be. I don't have a freight engine, and I should get a John Henry. They make them in HO, right? I can get them in HO. I'll have to keep my eye out for one at the Big E. If I see one, I'll have to snap it up. I don't have a Forney. That's right. I don't. I Are there standard gauge Forney models, like standard gauge HO Forney models? Because if I could have one like kit bashed into one of the elevated ones that came out of Rhode Island Locomotive Works, I would like that. Kato GP40, ES44, GS4, F7, 067. That's a good spread. You can run anything with that. Yeah, I don't need to delve into narrow gauge for my own purposes. I've got narrow gauge IRL. I visited narrow gauge this past weekend, and it looks like I'm going to be doing it again soon. I visited the land of my namesake. Not really my namesake, but I went to King Richard's Fair. I mean Edaville. I mean Carvershire. I've been calling it New Carvershire because that just kind of works for me. I feel like they should call it that, like the King Richard's Fair people, because they called the old place Carvershire. Uh, they should definitely call the new place New Carvershire. Uh, you know, we had Trainz here talking about New London, basically Renaissance. It's like the Renaissance of the Renaissance Fair. All right, let's do this in here. Let's get the edge. I wonder how that game is going. I wonder how the football game's going. I should let me check the sports ranting thread and see if anybody said anything. No, not yet. All right. Just fill an edge here. It's gonna look good though. We've got our river here, and maybe I could go harder with the foliage on the riverbanks, but it's not like we're gonna see this anyway. I mean, you're gonna see it from here, but it looks fine. I could extend the grass into the river, and I might find some like riverbank grass to use. That might be wise, but I don't know. Okay. 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 Am I out of energy now? I got that extra wave to fill this in. Am I out of energy now? Oh shoot, we missed a spot. There's a bald spot in the forest. That's if there's anything the stamp doesn't do great is it doesn't do a super great job of filling in all the little nooks and crannies. Alright, let's do that. Also, yeah, we need some more grass on this edge here. because I pulled the fence pretty far away from the edge of where the tall grass is, and we can do better than that. We can close that gap with grass. Okay, let's do this. Let's do that. Alright. I think we'll call it there. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Under Construction. I know it was a short one, but we might end up having some more short ones as we get closer to wedding time. There's just so much to wrap up. I'll see you all next week. This is the Admiral, signing off. For real this time.